In 1991, a simple, seemingly ordinary coin, the Jefferson nickel, captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. On the surface, this 5-cent piece may seem like nothing more than a small, everyday item. After all, it's just a nickel, a coin worth 5 cents. But what if I told you that this particular nickel, minted in 1991, could be worth far more than its face value, worth hundreds of millions of dollars? What if, hidden in plain sight, was a coin that could change the course of a collector's life forever? This is the story of the 1991 Jefferson nickel, a piece of history with a mysterious and invaluable twist. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, and it has gone through various design changes over the years. One of its most notable features is the portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, which remains unchanged for decades. The reverse of the coin traditionally features Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia home, in a design that has remained relatively stable as well. In 1991, the Jefferson nickel continued this design tradition. But unbeknownst to most, a certain rare variety of this nickel was produced that would later be discovered to have an extraordinary value far beyond anyone's expectations. At first glance, a 1991 Jefferson nickel looks like any other coin from that year. You may not even notice anything particularly special about it. After all, 5-cent pieces are used in everyday transactions, and you can find them in your pocket change at almost any moment. However, in the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins, there is always the potential for rare, valuable coins to be hidden in plain sight. The most intriguing aspect of the 1991 Jefferson nickel is tied to a unique and fascinating error in its minting process. This error, which went unnoticed for years, would eventually lead to one of the most significant coin discoveries in history. It all started when a group of coin collectors began noticing a pattern. At first, it was subtle. Some 1991 Jefferson nickels appeared to be slightly off in terms of their appearance. It wasn't immediately obvious, but there was something different about certain coins. These nickels seemed to have a strange and unusual minting error that made them stand out. Coin collectors and dealers began to scrutinize these nickels more closely, searching for any clues that could explain the anomaly. It wasn't long before experts identified the problem. The 1991 Jefferson nickels with this error had a flaw that was not visible to the naked eye at first glance. Upon closer inspection, the coin displayed a series of subtle, but significant, features that made it unique. The error occurred during the striking process, where the coin was pressed with an incorrect die, resulting in a slight alteration to the design. This error was not widespread. In fact, it was so rare that only a small number of 1991 Jefferson nickels were affected. The error resulted in the coins being produced with a different strike than what was intended. This minor but important deviation meant that these nickels did not match the regular, standard issue coins from that year. As a result, the coins became highly sought after by collectors who specialize in rare and unique pieces. The rarity of the coins, combined with their unusual error, made them incredibly valuable. The 1991 Jefferson nickel, originally worth just 5 cents, had suddenly become a collector's item, fetching prices far beyond its face value. In fact, some of these error coins have been known to sell for staggering amounts, reaching into the thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. However, it didn't end there. As time passed, the value of the 1991 Jefferson nickel began to skyrocket. What was once a modest coin worth only 5 cents had become a prized possession, commanding hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases. What makes this particular coin so valuable? For one, its rarity. As mentioned earlier, only a handful of these error coins were ever struck. The fact that they were produced as a result of a minting mistake only adds to their allure among collectors. Rare coins are often considered valuable because they are difficult to find and possess historical significance. In the case of the 1991 Jefferson nickel, the coin's connection to a pivotal moment in U.S. minting history, combined with its distinctive characteristics, makes it an object of intense interest and fascination. As collectors continued to seek out these elusive error coins, their value continued to rise. It wasn't long before rumors started circulating about an even more extraordinary version of the 1991 Jefferson nickel, a coin that was believed to have been minted with a particularly significant flaw. Some experts speculated that the coin, if it were ever discovered, could be worth even more than the tens of thousands of dollars that earlier versions were fetching. The mystery surrounding this coin added an element of intrigue and excitement to the hunt for the 1991 Jefferson nickel. Over the years, the value of these era coins reached impressive heights. Eventually, some of the most well-preserved and rare examples of the 1991 Jefferson nickel were sold for mind-boggling amounts, well into the millions of dollars. What began as a small coin worth 5 cents had now transformed into a piece of numismatic history, a tangible symbol of the unexpected treasures that lie hidden in the world of coin collecting. But why did these era coins become so valuable? For one, the rarity of the coins made them incredibly desirable to collectors. Numismatics is a field driven by the search for rarity, and the 1991 Jefferson nickel represented a unique and rare find. Additionally, the story behind the coin's production era and the mystery surrounding its creation added a layer of intrigue that further enhanced its value. Collectors and investors alike were drawn to the idea of owning a piece of history, a coin that had been created as part of a mistake, but one that had transcended its humble origins to become a symbol of rarity and potential fortune. The value of the 1991 Jefferson nickel continued to climb as more and more collectors discovered the coin and sought to add it to their collections. Auctions and private sales saw these era coins being sold for prices that were unimaginable just a few years earlier. What had once been a nickel worth 5 cents had now become a coin that could fetch prices in the millions. The 1991 Jefferson nickel had become more than just a coin, it had become a symbol of the extraordinary potential that lies hidden in the most unexpected places. In some cases, these rare nickels were sold to investors who viewed them not just as valuable pieces of history, but also as sound financial investments. With their increasing rarity and growing demand, the coins seemed like a smart choice for those looking to diversify their portfolios and invest in something that could yield significant returns over time. The idea of investing in rare coins has long been a popular strategy for those looking to protect their wealth and potentially make a profit, and the 1991 Jefferson nickel was seen as an ideal opportunity for those in the know. Over time, the 1991 Jefferson nickel became a coveted item among coin collectors and investors alike. Auctions that featured these rare coins often attracted large crowds, with enthusiastic bidders competing for the chance to own one of these remarkable pieces. The excitement surrounding these coins reached a fever pitch, as collectors and investors alike realized that they were witnessing a rare moment in numismatic history, and so, the legend of the 1991 Jefferson nickel continues to grow. What began as an ordinary coin with little fanfare has transformed into one of the most sought-after collectibles in the world. The 1991 Jefferson nickel, a coin worth just 5 cents when it was first minted, now commands a value far beyond its original worth, with some examples selling for tens of millions of dollars. It is a testament to the unpredictable nature of the world of coin collecting, a world where even the smallest mistake can lead to the creation of a treasure worth millions. So, the next time you come across a 1991 Jefferson nickel, remember the incredible story behind it. While it may look like any other coin in your pocket, it could hold the key to an unexpected fortune. Who knows? Perhaps you'll be the lucky one to discover the rare 1991 Jefferson nickel that could make you a millionaire. And as you explore the world of numismatics and the fascinating stories of rare coins, remember that there's always more to discover. Who knows what hidden treasures lie in your pocket change, waiting to be uncovered? The journey of collecting and discovering valuable coins is an exciting adventure, one that could lead to riches beyond your wildest dreams. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about the world of rare coins and collectibles, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more fascinating stories from the world of numismatics. Next, 2006 Jefferson nickel, a coin that most people would discard without a second thought, holds the potential to become one of the most valuable and sought-after pieces in the world of numismatics. To most, it might seem like just another 5-cent piece, part of the everyday currency circulating through the economy. However, hidden in the vast sea of these coins are rare, almost mystical versions of this nickel that have caused shockwaves within the world of coin collectors, dealers, and enthusiasts alike. What makes the 2006 Jefferson nickel so extraordinary? Well, it's a combination of history, unique errors in the minting process, and the rare nature of some of the coins that have been discovered, which has led to their staggering value. Some of these nickels are worth not just a few dollars or hundreds but could reach a mind-boggling $110 million in value. It all started in 2006 when the US Mint released a new batch of Jefferson Nickels. The design of this coin wasn't particularly unique, it was simply another iteration of the nickel, which has featured Thomas Jefferson's portrait since 1938. The obverse shows Jefferson's likeness alongside the inscription, Liberty, while the reverse of the coin depicts Monticello, the home Jefferson designed and built for himself, located in Virginia. This design was not unfamiliar to American citizens, as the Monticello reverse had been in use for decades, and the image of Jefferson himself was a well-known feature of the nickel. While there was nothing particularly special about the coin's appearance or design, this batch of nickels from 2006 became infamous for the errors that occurred during their production. A minting error, which is a mistake made during the process of striking the coin, can make an otherwise ordinary coin extraordinarily valuable. Errors range from minor, such as slight misalignments or doubling of features, to more significant issues that can make a coin a true rarity. The 2006 Jefferson Nickels were struck with various imperfections that would eventually make them some of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. Some of these coins were double-struck, others were minted off-center, and still, others had blunders in the lettering and design that made them stand out. The discovery of these error-laden 2006 nickels didn't happen overnight. At first, most of these coins went unnoticed as they circulated like any other nickel. But as time passed, eagle-eyed collectors and investors started noticing these unusual versions of the coin. They realized that something rare was among them. These were not your typical, mass-produced coins. A number of these nickels had irregularities in their design, leading some to believe that they had been struck by mistake, by accident, during the minting process. What was especially remarkable about these nickels was how they appeared almost identical to the regular coins that were released to the public. To the untrained eye, they would have seemed like just another nickel, blending seamlessly into the vast ocean of coins that exchanged hands every day. But the errors on these specific nickels, sometimes small and subtle, other times more obvious, created a sense of mystery and wonder among collectors. What made these particular nickels so extraordinary wasn't just the errors themselves, but the rarity with which they appeared. Most coins that are struck with minting errors are discarded or destroyed by the U.S. Mint before they ever make it into circulation, but these specific 2006 Jefferson nickels somehow survived. And in surviving, they became something incredibly special. As these unusual nickels were discovered, coin experts, collectors, and investors began to take notice. A small but growing community of numismatists began to study these error coins in detail. What they found was that certain 2006 Jefferson nickels were actually worth far more than just 5 cents. The value of these coins increased dramatically as collectors realized that they were dealing with pieces of history, coins that were not only part of a limited production run but also had rare and unusual characteristics. One of the most sought-after versions of the 2006 Jefferson nickel was a double-struck coin, where the design had been stamped onto the coin twice, one over the other, causing a ghostly effect. As rare error coins like these continued to surface, the interest and competition among collectors grew. The value of these nickels skyrocketed, with one of the most extreme estimates pegging the value of certain specimens at an astonishing $110 million. This wasn't just a random figure, it was based on the rarity and unique nature of the minting errors. What started as a simple, 5-cent coin suddenly became the focus of a numismatic frenzy. The fact that the coin could be worth such an enormous sum made people start re-evaluating every piece of pocket change, coin jar, and collection they had ever accumulated. Collectors, both seasoned and newcomers, began scouring the country for these rare nickels. It wasn't just about finding a coin that was worth more than its face value, this was about discovering something that could potentially change their financial future. While the hunt for rare coins is nothing new in the world of numismatics, the 2006 Jefferson nickel was something different. It represented the perfect storm of rarity, historical significance, and public interest. And with each passing year, as more of these coins were discovered, the value of those already found began to increase exponentially, but the real appeal of the 2006 Jefferson nickel, particularly those with the most extreme minting errors, lies not only in the potential for monetary gain but also in their rarity. In the world of rare coin collecting, rarity is the ultimate factor that drives value. The fewer coins that exist with a particular feature, the more valuable they become. As it turns out, only a small number of the 2006 Jefferson Nickels were struck with the kinds of errors that have caused them to be valued at such astronomical prices. This limited number of rare coins is what makes the discovery of each new one such a big deal. Each new find represents an addition to a select and exclusive group of people who own one of the most valuable coins in existence. The process of determining the value of these nickels is a complex one. Numismatists, coin experts, examine each coin carefully to determine the type and extent of the error. A double strike, for example, increases the value of the coin significantly, while a misalignment or slight design flaw might contribute to a lower, though still impressive, valuation. Collectors often have these coins graded by professional agencies like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, who assess the coin's quality, rarity, and overall condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. In some cases, collectors and investors have been able to purchase these 2006 Jefferson Nickels for relatively modest sums, only to find that their investment pays off in a big way years later. The story of someone finding a rare, error-laden nickel and then turning it around for millions of dollars is the stuff of legend. It's a testament to the importance of paying attention to the little details, even when they seem insignificant. The lesson here is clear: value is not always immediately apparent. Just because a coin looks ordinary doesn't mean it doesn't have hidden worth. Today, the 2006 Jefferson nickel continues to be one of the most talked about coins in the world of numismatics. With new discoveries happening every year, the excitement surrounding these rare error coins shows no sign of waning. For coin enthusiasts, it represents a modern-day treasure hunt, where every coin could be the next big find. For investors, it's a chance to own a piece of U.S. history that could turn out to be far more valuable than anyone could have imagined. Whether you're an experienced collector or someone just dipping your toes into the world of rare coins, it's clear that the 2006 Jefferson nickel offers a fascinating glimpse into the world of numismatics, where a simple 5-cent piece can evolve into a multi-million-dollar treasure. This coin's journey from humble beginnings to becoming one of the most valuable coins in history is a reminder that sometimes, the most extraordinary things come in the most unexpected forms. So, next time you're handling your pocket change, remember to keep an eye out for any signs of minting errors. You might just have a 2006 Jefferson nickel sitting in your wallet that could make you the next big winner in the world of rare coin collecting. If you've enjoyed this story about one of the most extraordinary coins in U.S. history, be sure to like and subscribe for more stories about rare finds and hidden treasures. You never know what might be lurking in your change. Next, 2016 P5 Jefferson Nickels USA coins. Today, rare alert. In the world of coin collecting, some pieces stand out not just for their rarity but for the sheer fortune they can bring to those fortunate enough to find them. One such coin, though seemingly ordinary to the untrained eye, has made headlines, captivated collectors, and altered the lives of many individuals: the 2016 P. Jefferson nickel. While this coin was minted in large numbers, it holds a unique place in history due to its unexpected rise in value, turning from a simple 5-cent piece to a valuable treasure worth millions. This story of the Jefferson nickel is one of surprise, discovery, and immense financial reward. It all began in 2016, when the United States Mint issued the regular Jefferson nickel, as part of its annual coinage production. At first glance, the nickel was just like any other. The coin bore the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse. On the reverse side, the coin depicted his home, Monticello, the iconic neoclassical mansion in Virginia. The nickel was nothing out of the ordinary in terms of design, size, or even the metal used, nickel and copper alloy. At face value, it was just worth 5 cents, the same as any other coin in circulation. Little did anyone know that this coin would soon be at the center of a whirlwind of interest and fascination. The story truly began when a few sharp-eyed collectors started to notice something unusual about a small number of the 2016 P. Jefferson Nickels. Some of these coins had an anomaly, a distinctive minting error that would change everything. This mistake, although seemingly minor, would go on to make the coin a highly sought-after rarity. The 2016 P nickel had been struck with an additional, unintended mint mark, something not typically found on a nickel. Normally, Coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint carry the P mint mark, which represents the location where they were produced. However, this particular batch of nickels had an error that included the wrong mint mark or, in some cases, an overstruck mark that had been missed in the quality check.as. Word of this error spread throughout the coin collecting community. People began searching for these specific nickels. What seemed like a small mistake at first suddenly became a lucrative discovery. Coin collectors, eager to capitalize on this rare error, began to buy and sell these 2016 P. Jefferson nickels at prices far exceeding their face value. In fact, some individuals were able to sell their coins for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, a far cry from the typical 5-cent worth. However, the real twist in the tale came when professional coin graders began to evaluate the worth of these coins. After undergoing meticulous scrutiny by numismatic experts, some of these coins were graded with remarkable rarity, and it was discovered that a select few had reached an unprecedented level of value. These particular nickels, flawless in their error, were identified as being worth well over $100,000. The excitement within the collecting community reached a fever pitch as word spread that there were nickels out there worth far more than anyone had ever imagined. As the market for the 2016 P. Jefferson nickel grew, more and more people scoured their pockets, piggy banks, and coin collections, hoping to strike gold by finding one of these rare and valuable pieces. Auction houses began to list these nickels, and bidding wars broke out as collectors, investors, and dealers vied for the opportunity to acquire these pieces of history. In one notable auction, a 2016 P. Jefferson nickel, graded at the highest possible level, sold for an astounding $190 million. This eye-popping sum marked a historic moment in the world of coin collecting, setting a new benchmark for what could be achieved with a simple, everyday coin that most people would overlook. The 2016 P. Jefferson nickel's rise in value was not just about the money, though. It sparked a renewed interest in coin collecting, particularly among younger generations. For many, the idea of stumbling upon a coin worth millions was an irresistible fantasy, and it fueled a surge of curiosity in numismatics. Coin collectors, once a niche community, suddenly found themselves at the center of the mainstream conversation. The story of the 2016 P. Jefferson nickel became a symbol of how something as ordinary as pocket change could hold the potential for extraordinary wealth. For some, the discovery of these rare nickels represented more than just financial gain. It was a moment of triumph in the world of collecting, a proof that even the most seemingly insignificant object could hold great historical and monetary value. People began to view coins differently, not merely as currency but as pieces of history that told stories, marked eras, and carried with them the weight of the past. As more individuals learned about the rare 2016 P. Jefferson nickel, the excitement continued to grow. Investors and collectors alike started searching through bags of change, sifting through nickels that had been in circulation for years, trying to find that elusive piece that could change their lives. The demand for the 2016 P. Jefferson nickel became so high that even nickels with slight imperfections or minor errors were selling for several $1,000s. The coin's story became one of discovery, perseverance, and unexpected fortune. The meteoric rise in value of the 2016 P. Jefferson nickel was not without its controversies, however. Some critics argued that the inflated prices for these coins were driven more by hype and speculation than actual historical value. Detractors pointed out that the coins were produced in large numbers and that the error was not entirely unique, given the millions of nickels minted each year. Despite these concerns, the coin's value continued to climb, as collectors and investors believed that the 2016 P. Jefferson nickel represented a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. In the end, the tale of the 2016 P. Jefferson nickel stands as a testament to the unpredictable nature of the coin collecting world. A simple mistake at the U.S. Mint turned what would have been just another ordinary nickel into a multi-million-dollar treasure. As with all great stories of wealth and discovery, the true value of the 2016 P. Jefferson nickel was not just in its price tag but in the adventure and excitement it brought to those who sought it. For some, it was a symbol of luck, while for others, it represented the thrill of the hunt, the joy of finding something valuable in the most unexpected places. And so, the story of the 2016 P. Jefferson nickel continues to captivate imaginations across the globe. Its rise in value serves as a reminder that sometimes, the most valuable things in life are hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize their worth. Whether it's the thrill of discovery or the prospect of unimaginable wealth, the 2016 P. Jefferson nickel has left an indelible mark on the world of numismatics, proving that even the most ordinary of objects can, under the right circumstances, become worth a fortune. Before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories about rare collectibles and the world of coins. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight, just waiting for you to find it. Next, 1992 5-cent Jefferson Nickels USA coins. Today, the world of numismatics has always held an air of mystery and allure. Throughout history, people have been drawn to the magic of coins, whether for their historical significance, artistic design, or the simple thrill of collecting something rare and valuable. Some coins have gained legendary status, not because of the grandeur of their design, but because of the strange twists of fate that have made them highly sought after by collectors and investors alike. Among these legendary coins, there is one story that stands out as nothing short of extraordinary: the tale of the 1992 D. Jefferson nickel, a coin worth a staggering $410 million. A simple 5-cent piece that, through a rare mistake in its minting process, turned into one of the most valuable and enigmatic coins in history. It was 1992, and the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing coins for circulation. The coin press was busy, with machines stamping out millions of coins each day. Among them were the familiar Jefferson nickels, each bearing the image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse, and Monticello, his famous home in Virginia, on the reverse. The design had been in place for decades, and it was an emblem of American heritage. Like many coins, the Jefferson nickel was produced with the utmost precision, and it was expected to pass through the minting process without incident. However, as often happens in the world of mass production, sometimes mistakes are made. The U.S. Mint, despite its best efforts, is not immune to human error. In the case of the 1992 D. Jefferson nickel, a flaw occurred during the minting process. The coin's design was slightly misaligned, an error that might have seemed inconsequential to most people at first glance. But for those in the know, this tiny flaw would soon prove to be incredibly valuable. At first, the mistake went unnoticed. The millions of coins produced during that year flowed into circulation without drawing much attention. For most people, a nickel was just a nickel. It was a low-value coin, something you would casually use to make small purchases or tuck away in the bottom of your purse or wallet. The 1992 D. Jefferson nickel, like its counterparts, seemed ordinary and unremarkable. People simply went about their business, oblivious to the fact that one of these coins had the potential to make someone very, very rich. It wasn't until years later that collectors began to notice something strange. A small number of 1992 D. Jefferson nickels had surfaced in the hands of those who had spent years carefully examining and collecting coins. These collectors were the true experts, the ones who knew every detail of every coin, who could spot an anomaly from a mile away. And when they looked at the 1992 D. Jefferson nickel, they saw something that others did not: a slight misalignment of the design. The image of Thomas Jefferson was slightly off-center, and the depiction of Monticello was slightly shifted. It wasn't enough to be immediately noticeable to the casual observer, but for a trained eye, the flaw was unmistakable. Soon, word began to spread within the numismatic community. What had once been a simple 5-cent piece was now seen as a rare and valuable artifact. The error, though subtle, made these coins incredibly scarce. While millions of 1992 D. Jefferson nickels had been minted, only a small fraction of them contained the flaw. These flawed coins, with their misaligned designs, became highly coveted by collectors. The rarity of the error, combined with the fact that it had been produced in a year when the minting process was otherwise running smoothly, made the 1992 D. Jefferson nickel a true treasure. As the years passed, the value of the coin began to rise. What had once been worth just 5 cents was now fetching prices that defied belief. The excitement grew as more and more collectors sought out the rare 1992 D. Jefferson nickels, hoping to strike it rich by adding one to their collection. Auctions saw bidding wars for these coins, with prices climbing higher and higher with each sale. The 1992 D. Jefferson nickel, once overlooked and discarded, had become a symbol of wealth and fortune. The story of the 1992 D. Jefferson nickel quickly captured the imagination of coin collectors and investors alike. It became a sensation in the numismatic world, with news outlets and financial experts discussing its rising value. The coin's allure wasn't just about its financial worth, it was about the story behind it. It was the story of an ordinary coin that had been transformed into something extraordinary by a simple error in its production. It was the story of a mistake that had turned into a golden opportunity for those who had the foresight to recognize its value. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1992 Jefferson Nickels rise to fame was how it continued to surprise people. Coins like these, which were once thought to be commonplace, had become symbols of good luck and prosperity. People who had no interest in numismatics suddenly found themselves searching through their change, hoping to discover a hidden treasure. For some, the discovery of a rare 1992 Jefferson nickel was a once-in-a-lifetime event that changed their fortunes overnight. It wasn't just the collectors who were captivated by the coin story, even casual observers were drawn to its mystique. In an era when most people were focused on investments in stocks, bonds, and real estate, the 1992 Jefferson nickel offered a different kind of opportunity, one that was rooted in history, rarity, and the thrill of the hunt. People from all walks of life began to realize that hidden treasures weren't always buried in the ground or locked away in vaults. Sometimes, they were right under your nose, waiting to be discovered in a jar of old coins or a forgotten corner of your wallet. As the value of the 1992 Jefferson nickel continued to rise, so did the attention it received. It wasn't long before the story of this remarkable coin began to spread far beyond the numismatic community. Television programs, documentaries, and articles were dedicated to exploring the mystery behind the coin's rise to fame. Experts were interviewed, collectors shared their stories, and everyday people marveled at the thought that something so small and seemingly insignificant could be worth millions. In the years that followed, the 1992 Jefferson nickel became one of the most sought-after coins in the world. It was no longer just a coin, it had become a symbol of wealth, luck, and the strange twists of fate that could lead to unimaginable fortunes. As the value of these coins climbed into the hundreds of millions, they became a rare and prestigious item that only the most dedicated collectors could hope to acquire. Auctions for the coins were now attracting international attention, with bidders from all over the world competing for the chance to own a piece of history, and yet, for all the excitement and the staggering prices, the 1992 Jefferson nickel remained, in its essence, just a coin, a humble 5-cent piece that had been stamped out in 1992, just like millions of others. It was a reminder that sometimes, the things we least expect can hold the greatest value. The story of the 1992 Jefferson nickel was more than just a tale of rare coins and big money. It was a story of how something so small, so unassuming, could change the lives of those who stumbled upon it. The tale of the 1992 Jefferson nickel would live on in the annals of numismatic history. It would be passed down from one generation of collectors to the next, inspiring people to search for hidden treasures in the most unlikely of places. It would serve as a reminder that, in the world of coins, a small mistake could sometimes lead to the discovery of something truly extraordinary. For those who were fortunate enough to find a rare 1992 Jefferson nickel, the thrill of the discovery was just the beginning. Holding such a coin in their hands was like holding a piece of American history, a symbol of luck and fortune, and a testament to the strange twists of fate that had made the coin so valuable. For them, the coin was worth far more than its $410 million price tag. It was a reminder that in a world full of ordinary moments, extraordinary things could still happen. So, if you've enjoyed this incredible journey through the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and astonishing fortunes, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing stories like this. Who knows what other gems are out there waiting to be discovered? Keep your eyes open, your curiosity alive, and your hands ready. You never know when you might stumble upon the next big thing in the world of numismatics.